Hey folks, welcome back to another video of the Flutter Development course brought to you by Newton School. My name is Harsh Kumar Khatri and I am currently working as a Flutter developer at Ellihop, Sweden, and I have been an ex-intern at Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, and I have also been an ex-Flutter developer at a firm named AppScript. I have also been an educator from past 6 months on Udemy and Eduonix, where my Flutter development courses have more than 40,000 plus enrollments already, so you can check them out as well. Talking about what Newton School is. So basically Newton School is a platform that helps you to learn and develop the skills that you need for your best tech career. They are having courses specifically designed for freshers, working professionals, and for women with no prior experience in tech. Newton School first trains you for 6 months and helps you become a full stack developer. And they are also having a network of 300 plus great companies who hire directly from Newton School. And they are also having a pay after placement policy where you don't have to pay anything to Newton School. And you will until and unless you are placed with a minimum CTC of 5 lakh rupees per annum. So Newton School also ensures that once the training is complete, you are placed with one of the best companies in the country. They are also having another amazing initiative known as Launchpad, where they are providing you with some of the courses for free of cost, and you can work on those courses, run the code which is being taught to you on the online editor which is available to you on their website, and you can also get a certificate of completion after completing these courses. So you can surely check Newton School and Launchpad out through the link given in the description. Now talking about what are the topics being covered in this particular video. So in this video I am going to teach you about how you can send data to an API or through an API whenever you are making a post request. So we'll be seeing how we can make a post request in Flutter using the HTTP package. If you have not checked out how you can make a GET request and get the data from the API and display that to the user, so you can check out my previous video. I have already taught you the same in that video. And in this video, I'll be using another API which is also pre-built, available for testing the app or for testing the features of sending the data to an API. And we'll be making a post request on the same, and we'll be sending the some data and getting the output for the same, and we'll be displaying that to the user. So without wasting any much time, let me switch my screen and let's start working on the same. So herein you can see that I have switched my screen and I've opened the app which we have worked on in the previous video. So in the previous video I have shown you how you can create an app which will be like fetching the data from the internet, and we have implemented this example with the help of an API. So we have basically seen how we can add an API inside our Flutter application and fetch the data from the same and display the data to the user. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can like post the data as well and perform the post request when you are using RESTful APIs inside your Flutter app. So we'll be doing the same in this video. Now let me show you a resource which we'll be using in this video. So for this video, I'll be showing you the implementation with the help of this resrec.in API, which is available. So it provides you with the fake data, so you don't need to create any API of yourself if you are working in a test environment, or if you want to implement, or if you want to learn the implementation of APIs inside Flutter. So you can use the available APIs which are here free of cost. In the previous video, I have shown you the example with the help of the placeholder API. So we have used that, but you can also use the API which is provided by resrec.in. So you can directly hit the URL over here. And herein you can see all the available APIs which you can use for testing your Flutter application or like implementing the test. So for here you can see that if you are using the GET API, you can hit to this API address and it will be providing you with the list of users. If you want to perform a GET request on a single user, then you can use this API endpoint. If you want to use, or if you want to perform a post request, then you can use this post API and you can hit this endpoint and it will be performing a post request where you need to pass some data to the API. So we'll be passing the name and job, and you will be provided with the output as the name, job when the job has been created, and a unique ID for the data whatever you are passing. So we'll be using this particular thing. Now let me switch back to the editor and I'll be showing you how we can do this. So I have opened the app again, which we have worked on in the previous video, and now let's start working on the same. So the first thing which I need to do over here is I need to create a function. So I don't need this fetch album as of now, as we won't be fetching the data directly. We'll be performing the post request, and we also don't need this album because we are not going to like display the data to the user. We'll be printing the output whatever we'll be getting after the post request has been completed successfully. So that's why I'm not creating any database model for it. You can, if you want, you can create a model for it and add the values as we have added over here, like at first adding the variables and then creating a constructor and then a factory method and then getting the data from JSON. So you can add that if you want. So now let's move towards the second part. Herein I need to create a function which will be for creating the user. Let me adjust the mic so I can see the keyboard. So herein I need to create a function which will be used for creating the user and will be used for the post request with the help of HTTP. So future create user, and it will be taking a string name and a string job which we'll be sending, and this will be of a kind async. And now specifying the URL or the endpoint for the API which will be like triggered or which will be used for making the post request. So final string API URL and setting the value, going to Google and copying the API endpoint which I showed you previously in the start. The next thing which we need to do is we need to create a variable response which will be having the data for the which we are getting once the request has been made successful. So await http dot post, and herein adding a URI dot parse which will be used for parsing the URL which we have added above. So API URL over here, API URL, and this was deleted. And one more thing that herein we need to add, so we are also passing the what we can say parameters for the name and the job, so adding a body as well for it. So body will be in the form of a JSON. So name would be equal to the name which we are getting above, and the job would be equal to the job which we are getting above. So herein I have added job only. So we'll be passing that inside as well. And one more thing, that as you are using this API from the RESREC, so you are also provided with a status code, like if the status code is matching a particular status, like if this post request is completed, then we'll be provided with the status code of 201. If we are making a simple post request on a particular user adding and we are not getting any data or something like that, then there are chances that that particular post request would be having a separate status code. So for us this would be like 201. So I'll be checking if the response dot status code is equals to 201. Response dot status code is equals to 201. If this is the case, then we'll be creating a variable which will be the response string, and we'll be assigning the value of response body to this variable which we have created. And after that we'll be printing the string which we have created, that is the response string. And if this condition is not true, then adding an else statement over here, and this else statement will be returning null, which means that the status code has not been successfully completed, and we are returning null over here. Next we need to create some text editing controller, as we will be using two text fields for getting the name and the job of the user. So for that I'll be creating a final text editing controller. I guess text editing controller, the T there needs to be one T only, and naming it as name controller for the name, and the value of it would be like text editing controller, copying it, pasting it again, and changing the name controller to be job controller. This will be for handling the details which we'll be adding inside the job field. And I guess this was pretty much it for the values which we need to create. Now moving towards this part, like the build part. So let me first change the here the text which is present in the app bar. So post rec, so that the user can also know that we are working on the post request thing. And for the body part of this, I am having a center over here. I'll be removing this future builder, and in place of it I'll be adding a single child scroll view, which will be having a child as a column. And inside this column we can add various different items as well, starting from a text field. I am not using a text form field over here because we won't be needing any like validators over here, or we won't be needing any more things which the text form field provides. So you can skip text form field over here and prefer using the text field only. If you want, you can use that too. There's no issue with that. For the controller, I am specifying it to be name controller as we have created. Adding some decorations. So decoration would be having input decoration, and herein we have to pass the prefix icon, and this prefix icon will be having a type of icon, and inside it icons dot account circle outline, and I guess it should provide me with a suggestion account underscore circle underscore outlined, adding some commas as well. And I'm still getting an error for the icons over here. Let me add it again. So account underscore circle underscore outline, there it goes, saving it so that the formatting could take place over here. And herein we have added the icon. Now next thing I need to add over here is a label text. If you want, you can add various different things which I have taught you in the text form field, like text form field lecture or text form field video. So you can add those over here as well, but I am adding only the necessary ones and keeping it to be minimal. And after this, adding a fill color. The fill color would be equal to colors.white, and this is giving us an error because we are adding the things inside icon only. So coming out of the icon, pasting them over here. Now adding a focus border. So focus border will be having the outline input border, which takes a border radius, and that would be equal to border radius dot circular with the value of 25 for now. And next thing I can pass over here is a border side, which takes border side, and we can pass a color inside it. The color would be equal to colors.blue to match the overall theme of the app. And I can copy this focus border from here and add a similar thing for the enable border as well, only changing the color. So enable border, outline border, it will be of circular, color would be equal to red, and the width would be equal to 2. So width would be equal to 2. So you can see over here, after hitting Ctrl S, the output has occurred. And now after this text field is ending, I'll be adding a sized box. The B needs to be capital, and for the height of it I'll be adding 20. And I'll be copying the text field which we have just added and pasting it after the sized box, changing the enter name to enter job. And the controller would be changed as well, like the name controller would be changed to job controller. And for the icon as well, I'll be changing it to icon.work inside the prefix icon, and I guess rest other things would be remaining same. Now we need to add a floating action button, or we can also add a button as we added in the previous form field video. And I will be adding a text. I'll be adding a floating action button over here to make it something different as we have created in the previous video. So we'll be working on it. And after this center is ending, let me check where the center is ending. this center is for this particular thing, so I need to add a floating action button over here. So floating action button, and it will be taking a floating action button only, and inside it I can pass an on pressed property, which will be a sync for us, as we'll be like running the create user function inside it. So create element, I guess I have named it as create user. Yeah, I have named it as create user. So I have made the function inside this, so let me just make get the function out so that we can use it out as well, and create user over here. It will be taking the name and job, so we need to create a variables for that inside this on pressed only. So final string name and name controller. I guess I need to create the controllers out as well, because we'll be using the controllers inside the other class. So after these I am adding those, and name controller dot text, so getting the text out of the name field, and final string job would be equal to job controller dot text. Now it is looking good, and I can add some tooltips as well inside this floating action button. So tooltip would be having a string saying send data. For the child of this floating action button, adding an icon, icons dot add. So this is the default icon which is available when a floating action button occurs inside our Flutter application. So let it save, and once I'll be hot restarting it so that the things could take place. And one more thing, like as we are using the HTTP package, so I haven't imported in this video because I have already imported or added it inside the pubspec.yaml file in the previous video. So you can check that out, that for this particular video and recording the HTTP version is 0.13.3 to be the latest one. And now I'll be going back to the main.dart file over here, and we'll be showing you the complete implementation, like how the app is there. And as we have added a print statement, so make sure to check out the debug console as well whenever we are interacting with the app. So for the name I'll be typing it to be Harsh, and for the job I'll be typing it to be coder. And when I'll be clicking on this floating action button, it will be taking some time, and herein you can see the output which it is getting, and it has displayed that particular output as a print statement inside our debug console. So from where this output was displayed to the user, so this is from where the output has been displayed. So the status code of the response which we have got is equals to 201, and we have got an output from there, and I have taken out the body part which is being printed over here as a response string. And as I told you in the starting of the video, that the output which we'll be getting from that API would be in the form that we'll be getting the name which we have passed, the job which we have passed. It will be creating a random ID for the data which we have added, and it will also be providing us with the created at time, so we can know that when this particular ID was created. And apart from that, if we there is also a catch in this, like as we haven't added any validators for now. So if I'll be deleting these, like emptying both the fields, and I am hitting this floating action button, so then also it will be providing us with a particular value, like it will be providing us with the particular output or print statement in the description or in the debug console, which you can see over here that the name is empty, the job is empty, an ID has been created, and the created at field is also created over here. So this is how you can use the post operations inside Flutter, and can create the post operations or post method or post request call when you are using, or whenever you are interacting with the RESTful APIs inside your Flutter application. And if you got to know something new from this video, then make sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you want to see in the upcoming videos, or what you have learned from this video. Share this video with the people in your community or the people who want to learn Flutter, and subscribe to the channel to get all the latest updates related to a Flutter development course being posted on this channel. A new video is posted every alternate day. And make sure to check out Newton School and Launchpad through the link given in the description. They are doing amazing work, so make sure to check them out as well. And this was it for this particular video. In the next video, we'll be working on an amazing project. So I'll be seeing you in the next video. Until then, stay tuned.